general licensing questions. So some of these are very specific, and some of them are more broad-based. So very specific, we're moving from R12 to Fusion. Are the licenses transferable? And some different information on that. There's two ways that you can upgrade your licenses at Oracle. One is a supported upgrade if you maintain Oracle Tech Support, or if you have access to those downloads after you leave Oracle support. You want to go from version 10 to version 11, from version 11 to version 12. Those are just new versions of the same product. And so Oracle looks at that as an upgrade or an update for tech support. So there's no cost associated with that other than the license fees that you already paid and the ongoing maintenance fees. Now, the other way that you can upgrade your license is what Oracle calls a migration. It's not a technical migration, it's a license migration from one product to another. So I believe that moving from R12 to Fusion would require you go through that migration process. And what that migration process means that Oracle takes your contractual license entitlement. You have 20 licenses of this product, that turns into 10 licenses of that product. 15 licenses of this is 15 licenses of that. So they literally have to map one license and one product to another license and another product. And they just run reports, create a big spreadsheet. They have a flow chart of what the products turn into, what the matrix are, and they convert that. And in some of those migrations, it is what you would call a $0 migration. So there's no additional money that's owed from the client to Oracle. However, in other migrations, there could be additional monies that are owed. For example, if R12 has 10 pieces of functionality, but Fusion has 13 pieces of functionality, Oracle would want to get the benefit of that and get you to pay the money for the value of the additional functionality. So there could be, one license of this turns into one license of that plus $1,000. And my guess is that is where most customers are going to fall into when they go from R12 to Fusion. They're going to go into this migration, and they'll probably end up owing Oracle a little bit more money. But you never know. You could come out of a situation where you're migrating from one to another without additional requirements. But I don't believe it is a supported update. So it's not like you paying for support for R12 and you're just going to get Fusion sort of as the next version as if it were R13, let's say. So that's that one. Next question is license optimizations for Intel and non-Intel. That's sort of a broad question, hard to answer specifically. There are different, what Oracle calls core factors for different types of servers. So for example, an Intel server might have a core factor of 0.5, and it's just the math that you use when you figure out your price. It's $47,500 is your list fee. You want 10 processors, that's $475,000. Then you put a core factor of 0.5, and you're going to have half of that, and then you add your discount on top of that. Some servers, non-Intel, have core factors of 1, so they're more expensive than Intel servers. Oracle does have a core factor table online. You can just Google Oracle core factor table. Make sure you're going to the Oracle site and not somebody else's site. Oracle puts a lot of things in their contract that they tend to change over time, URL-wise. At least the core factor table, though, there is a statement of changes. So the core factor table that applies to your Intel or non-Intel machines is the one that was in effect when you bought your licenses. So don't necessarily look at the latest version of that for the answer to your question on whether or not you need more or less. You'll have to go back in time and look at those previous versions and go through the statement of changes to see if there's anything in there that affects you. But I guess the overall picture, and it sort of gets into the next one, is we have seen clients reduce their license requirements by changing their hardware architecture, which sort of brings us to the next question, which is Power Systems the right platform to keep control of database license costs? And sure, absolutely. Another policy document that Oracle has, which is not in your contract, is hard partitioning, soft partitioning, virtualization policies. And in there, again, Oracle talks about soft partitioning, which they do not accept as a way to reduce your license count, and hard partitioning, which is a way they do accept. And one of the sort of recommended or approved ways to hard partition and micro partition hardware is using IBM systems. So using Power Systems is a way to definitely reduce the license requirements of your environment. For example, if you have a highly virtualized soft partition environment and you can move it to a hard partitioned um, system like Power Systems. It's a great way to reduce the license requirements. Then the tricky part, I think, comes in. The second part of that is, okay, I'm using less licenses. How do I reduce my support costs? And that, again, goes back, just like the Java question, there's a technical component, and then there's a business contractual licensing component. So um, yes, you might reduce your license requirements, um, but then you need to do that analysis to say, hey, am I reducing, is there a way for now for me to reduce my technical support requirements?